Hello? Hello?
Hi, Chairman Tyner.
I
This
hope,
is Commissioner Boone.
thank you tonight. How are you, Commissioner Boone?
I'm doing well. I hope that you are. I can't hear inside the boardroom, so I'm not sure if they have started yet.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Say it again.
Yes, we can hear you now.
You can hear it. Okay. I just hit the gavel, so we really just started.
Okay.
I'm calling to order the meeting of the Northampton County Board of Commissioners, special call meeting, June
Yes.
29, 2022. I would
Yes.
like to recognize that we do have present via Zoom Commissioner Nicole Boone and Chairman Charles Tyner. In person, we have Commissioner Buffalo, Commissioner Dr. Edwards, and Vice Chair Faulkner.
Got it.
I would like to start by looking at our agenda for today. It is a very short agenda. Are there any commissioners present or in person or via Zoom that have any items that you would like to add or any objection to any items presented?
I do not.
Chairman Tyner does not.
No additions.
Okay. Commissioner Boone, no additions. Commissioner Buffalo? No additions. And Commissioner Edwards?
No additions.
And I do not as well. To make a motion, entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Vice Chair, I move that the agenda for June 29th be approved as printed.
It's been motioned and properly second for approval of the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Boone.
Faulkner, ayes have it. Today we have basically two items on our agenda. Are you able to project those? They're very brief. Those in the audience, do you have a physical copy? Okay, and could you project? If you do not have it, I will read those out. Okay, the first is a project ordinance and the second are budget amendments. So at this time, I would like to call, let's see, move through my sheets. Ms. Doris Garner. Ms. Garner, if you would just remain up since you have them.
Okay, thank you. Good evening to our presiding Vice Chair Faulkner this afternoon, to our chair by Zoom,
Yes.
Chairman Tyner, and to the other commissioners by Zoom and present.
Good evening.
You have before you in your packet 4 ordinances. We will start with the first one, and I will say that the first 2 is pretty standard ordinance. It's for the Jackson Workforce Development Housing. Do you desire that I read it verbatim or just hit the highlights of it?
If you would hit the highlights.
Okay. This project is, as I said, for Jackson Workforce Development Housing. Total cost of the project is $3 million, and these revenues are expected to be received through USDA, which is United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. I'm sorry, that's through HUD, as we know it more commonly. And basically, it's just saying that the funds will be accounted by a finance officer and reports will be done on a regular basis.
And that is a total project amount of?
$3 million. Would you like to vote on them separately, or we'll do the first two and then the third one is a revision, so you may want that one separately.
Just for cleanness, I think maybe we need to vote
Each
on
one.
individually.
Okay,
So at this time, I will entertain a motion. And then we will call for questions if you have any questions after that. For the Jackson Workforce Development Housing Capital Project Ordinance totaling $3 million with funds projected to come from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Sorry, taking notes for Buffalo and second by Dr. Edwards. It has been moved and properly second. First, we will vote on this and then you will have your questions. Questions? No questions.
Mhm.
Well, we're gonna, any questions from Chairman Tyner or yes?
No question. No question.
No
We're
question, Commissioner Boone.
I'm sorry, we're accepting the ordinance.
Right.
And then we're gonna ask for questions, then we're gonna vote on approving. So it's on the floor. We're gonna ask questions and then we will vote on, actually approve it. So no questions. This isn't a public hearing, but when the public comment, if you have any questions, we don't have that on our agenda, but I think we won't amend it because I do want to recognize if you do have any questions. I want to do it properly. I just want to do it properly. Yes.
Just a real quick, grant or loan?
this is a grant.
Grant.
A grant.
It's in the, it doesn't say grant in the ordinance. It is a grant.
It's a grant.
It's a grant.
Is there a reason that we might need to amend the agenda? Is that your question is okay? I just want to make sure we don't not have the opportunity. Okay, in the minutes.
What exactly the funds were, and that clarified. Thank you very
And
much.
since we're still in the questions, this is a topic we have over the course of over a year now. We've been working on, so this is not a different project, it's the same project. And we just waited on the grant to be approved. And I think in Chairman Tyner's comments at the last board meeting, he mentioned that we were waiting on the money, and this is the steps that it takes for us to actually receive those funds. So it's one thing to hear it's coming, and it's another thing to have it here. Hearing no questions, I'll call for the vote.
Aye, Buffalo.
I Boone.
Aye.
Chairman Tyner.
I said aye.
Okay, I couldn't hear you, sir.
I'm sorry.
Chairman, Vice Chair Faulkner. Motion carried, ordinance approved. And within that same tab 3, we're just breaking up the vote on each one of those specific ones. Okay, you can proceed.
Okay, your next grant project ordinance is for Phase 6 Water and Sewer Project. This total cost, the total cost for this project is $5,002,800. And it will be funded through the United States Department of Agriculture or USDA Rural Development. This is a grant project. However, the construction portion of this project will be done through a commercial loan. And at the conclusion of the construction, it will then be conveyed to USDA for a loan.
So in a sense, it's a reimbursable grant.
Well, the construction is gonna have to be financed, and when the project,
It's reimbursed, basically paid
Right.
alone.
USDA will pick that cost up.
Right, and this is, as stated, a grant. Total project,
$5,002,800.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the grant project ordinance for Phase 6, water and sewer.
Madam Vice Chair, I move approval of Phase 6 Water and Sewer Project in the amount of $5,002,800.
I second that motion.
It's been motioned, I had two. Chair Tyner. So it's been motioned by Commissioner Edwards and second by Chair Tyner. Are there any questions? On section 7 within the project ordinance, it states copies of this grant project ordinance shall be furnished to the budget officer. So if you have any questions and you need to see anything that relates to that, you can reach out to our finance department, among other departments who have access to this information, our county manager as well. Hearing no questions, all in favor?
Aye, Buffalo.
Tyner.
I Boone.
Aye.
Okay, and I Faulkner, motion carries. Project Phase 6 water and sewer, should be some happy citizens, is approved. We have one other that was listed under a project ordinance. And you can proceed, and this one is the one that has change, correct?
Yes. Well, actually, you have the change and then you have one more.
Change and then one more.
Okay. We have a revised capital project ordinance, and this is for the courthouse complex. The original ordinance was adopted in March, on March the 21st. However, since that time, we have found that we will be receiving $5 million in addition to the $14 million from the United States Department of Agriculture, that's USDA, and this is a grant that will be added to the construction of the project, which brings that total project now to $19 million. And that's really the only change. If you note on yours, I've highlighted in red the changes to the original. But we've gone from a $14 million project to a $19 million project. And that's what that ordinance is about, to accept the additional $5 million grant funding.
So far, you are up to $27 million for the grant fund. So this is,
Sounds good, doesn't it?
yes, it does. It does. It does. Amazing. I'd entertain a motion. If you have no further additions to this presentation regarding the courthouse complex, I would ask, and I'll do that in the questions, it's minor, but I'll ask that after. I entertain a motion to approve the Northampton County Courthouse Complex revision related to the acceptance of the United States Department of Agriculture $5 million of additional funds.
I
Madam
make
Vice
a
Chair, I move-
motion that we approve the revised capital project ordinance for the Northampton County Courthouse Complex.
Second.
It's been motioned by Commissioner Boone, second by Commissioner Dr. Edwards. Okay, are there any questions regarding the revisions. Questions or comments? I do have one on the Sedgwick. I believe that's still a part of this one. Let me make sure. Nope,
I think
that's another one. Okay. My papers got stuck, so I have no questions. Call for vote.
So Madam Vice Chair, just one observation. It is for the general construction added to this, right? Versus I'm looking at the furniture, fixtures and equipment. This is for the general construction.
It's general construction.
Clear. Thank you.
So as you'll notice on the first page, it's the red line.
Clear.
Noting the difference. And on the second page is black line.
Mhm.
And then where that original $10,775,500 and $5 million were separated on the first, it is added together on the final revised ordinance.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you.
we're actually approving technically that second page. The first page is just for your information, which is, it just includes the black line. Okay. Call for a vote.
I, Buffalo.
Aye.
Hi, Boone.
And I, Faulkner. Motion carries. You can continue sharing some good news.
Our next ordinance is a capital project ordinance, and it's for the Gaston Wellness Center project. This project is expected, we are expecting to receive $10 million, and this will be a loan, a USDA loan. It follows the same guidelines as our other USDA loan funding.
Madam Vice Chairman,
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion. Charles Turner.
I can hardly understand you, Mr. Tyner.
I make-
Sorry.
I make the motion, okay? Can
You
hear me?
make a motion? Okay, okay. It kind of muffled a little. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Okay,
It's been motioned.
Second.
It's been motioned and properly second. Questions?
No question.
okay.
Commissioner Boone or Tyner, do you have any questions or comments?
No question, no question. No question.
No question, Vice Chair Faulkner.
And Commissioner Edwards, this is in your
I have no
area.
questions.
You have no questions. Okay. And then this also, based upon our strategic plan, this
Mhm.
is also one of those projects that
Right.
over the course of the last 5 years,
We've been
4 or
working
5
on it.
years, we've been working
You're right.
towards.
You're right.
Okay, if no questions or comments, I'll call for the vote.
Tyner,
Hi, Boone.
Aye.
And I, Faulkner. Motion carries for the Gaston Wellness Center project, North Carolina Rural Economic Development Center Economic Infrastructure Program. Okay, thank you for those. And we will move right into our tab 4, which are our budget amendments. And Ms. Garner will also do those.
Okay, your first budget amendment is budget amendment number 42 in the amount of $2,396.29. And this is simply insurance reimbursement from damaged vehicle in an accident.
And this was the Sedgwick.
That's correct.
I just wasn't sure if maybe a letter was off under the remarks.
Quite a few pages with that.
Oh, okay, it was, all right, so it was like an estimate vehicle is at 60, and it just confused me.
Okay,
So is that, and they were in the remarks, so I guess that's okay. We're just gonna approve them all at once, so you can move forward.
well, the next two will have to be done in succession. So if you could do this one, and then we need the other two, one approved before the other one.
Give me 1 second,
That's fine.
a lot of pages. That one budget amendment had about 30 pages. Mrs. Garner's asked that we've approved these individually.
Mhm.
So the first amendment for consideration is budget amendment number 42, related to the vehicle repairs totaling $2,396.29 related to the sheriff's department reimbursement.
I'll make a
Entertain a
motion to
motion.
approve.
Okay,
Second.
Chair Tyner, Tyner has motioned and Dr. Edwards a second. Call for the vote.
I, Buffalo.
Aye.
I apologize. Were there any questions? No questions. Okay, call for the vote.
I, Buffalo.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Boone.
And I, Faulkner. Budget amendment number 42 is approved.
Your next two budget amendments, budget amendment number 43 and number 44. They're both to move American Rescue Plan Act funds into our general fund and into the enterprise and appropriate funds to take care of bonuses and other cleanup items, end of year items. So if you can do these separately, because the first one will be moving the funds to the transfer lines. The second one simply moves the money from the transfer lines into the respective fund itself.
We do have two amendments to consider, but again, we will do those separate to make sure that they are approved in the appropriate order. I entertain a motion for budget amendment number 43 related to opera funds transfer into appropriate funds.
Madam Chair, I move approval of budget amendment number 43 in the amount of $500,000.
I'll second.
It has been motioned by Dr. Edwards and second by Commissioner Buffalo. Are there any questions related to budget amendment 43?
No questions.
And just for the public, it is $500,000 being transferred from ARPA funds into the appropriate funds for the reasons stated by our finance department. No further questions. I'll call for the vote.
I, Buffalo.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Boone.
I, Faulkner. Motion carries for budget amendment 43. The final budget amendment.
Okay, the final budget amendment is number 44. Excuse me. And I do apologize for you not getting that earlier. But once the funds are transferred to the transfer line, they then have to go into the respective fund balances for those particular funds. And if, let me note that this total amount is $250,000. That's because Fund 11 had 250,000 of the 500,000. We did not need to move that. It was still in Fund 11.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve budget amendment number 44 related to appropriating the transferred funds.
So moved.
Madam Vice Chair,
You can move forward.
I move approval for budget amendment number 44 in the amount of $250,000.
Second Buffalo.
The motion and properly second related to budget amendment 44. Transferring funds from the identified fund 61, 80, 241, 62, and 66 into the appropriate fund balance in the amount of $250,000 for the reasons stated by our finance department. Been motion second, call for a vote. Any questions?
No question.
Call for a vote.
I Buffalo.
Aye.
Aye.
I Bloom.
Aye, Faulkner. Motion carries. Do you have any other good news?
All right.
I just want to thank you for allowing me to do this in the absence of our finance officer. And if you would keep her and her family in prayer.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Madam Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner, Chair Tyner. Yes.
Can you all hear me?
It's a little muffled, but I can hear you.
I just want to make one statement. I just got a telephone call from the state of North Carolina. I've just got the phone call that in their budget, they just approved. There's much in that budget for Northampton County. I wish I could go over it, but they have not finalized it yet, but you're gonna be surprised, folks, at the amount of money they have allotted for projects in Northampton County. It's gonna really blow our mind. So I just want you to know that everything is still looking up and we're gonna move forward. We're gonna continue to make Northampton County all it needs to be. This is our day. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Tyner, for that good news. We don't have additional items listed on the agenda, but are there any commissioners that have anything that they need to share for the good of the group?
I just want to make a comment. I want to thank all of the citizens that supported and participated in the USDA home repair workshop that we hosted yesterday at the Wellness Center. It was well attended, and we're praying that our citizens will have some good news through USDA for those home repairs that they desperately need. Thank you.
At this time, we're down to agenda tab number 5 for adjournment. I entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move we adjourn.
Second Buffalo.
The motion is seconded. Call for vote.
I Buffalo.
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. The meeting is over, but I do want to wish everyone a happy and safe holiday if I do not see you
Happy 4th.
before then.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be safe.
Thank you.